Hello everyone, my name is Lance090 and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. So let's see, it's been a day since I last played. Sound effects seem louder than normal, don't they? Maybe not.
Of course.
Sure. So, I think we explored everything here, so... yeah, things are louder. I don't know if it might be my own volume settings or not, though. No, it's not. Voice volume can stay up higher because it's kind of important, but...
Good day to you.
Make a room, please. It's free to sleep downstairs if you want to sleep downstairs, or I can get character boosts by going to the other ones. I can go to sleep in the common room, I guess. Let's see a particular need to get those boosts right now. Sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of the Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the trees is an old dwarf woman whose face has been shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side as you look at her. She looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head stops up and her eyes open. They are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face, and thick droplets in your skin is soaked from hand to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face as you spoke with the magistrate. You called her an animancer. So it fills you with new queasy apprehension. You feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Alright, so we leveled up.
Good day to you.
Purchased the level 2. Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have a certain source going out looking for work time to time. If you want to hire someone, I'd be happy to send them your way. Let me see what I have to work with. Okay, so I actually have to level our characters up first. I can give myself a mechanic skill, even though I plan to get a, whatchamacallit here soon, a rogue. Fatigue. Oh, I get a new ability here, so let's see, you got Swift Aim. Ranger gets into a speedy and fluid offensive rhythm, reducing accuracy but increasing fire rate and reload time with a ranged weapon, and attack rate with a melee weapon. Interesting. Wounding shot. He or she would, with fleeing prey, the hunter aims for a spot that will slow the target's enemy's progress, only at the target and inflicting raw damage to it over time. Predator's sense heightens the predatory instincts of the ranger's animal companion, giving them a damage bonus on any creature suffering damage over time effect. I don't have any damage over time effects already, though, so I'd have to get wounding shot and then get predator's sense for it to really make any sense. Vicious aim. By lowering attack and reload rate, the ranger is able to take a more careful aim, giving them increased accuracy and damage. So this is the opposite of swift aim. What would I prefer? I think I like the idea of shooting faster. The cost of some accuracy. It's hard telling, though. Because it comes with a drawback. If I pick this, there's no drawback to doing it. You do it twice per encounter. modal. Oh, I toggle it off and on. What do I want to do? What does hobbled exactly do? Dexterity, movement, and reflex is reduced. I think I want swift aim. You 8 or lore. You don't get to carry your points over, so you have to spend them anyway. Have an athletics and a stealth or survival. I don't know which one. Stealth just so he can do it. Alright, and you get new spells. Level 2 spells. Quite a lot here, so I think I'm gonna kind of look more for specific things and read each one. Web is always a really good one. I don't know how important that would be, though. Turn-based, it's pretty good, but not turn-based here, so... Big areas. If erratically, every 6 seconds, target randomly... target checks randomly to do one of the following behavior. Normally, attack an ally, walk in a random direction, or do nothing. Seems pretty good. And the other one... Target becomes paralyzed. Take any action, dexterity is set to 0. That's pretty good. One specific target, right? Oh, target plus a radius. I like that. Don't get any extra here, no. So this is more of a utility wizard, how I'm setting them up at least, than a like a damage dealing wizard or anything. Kind of what I want though. Now if I talk to you, I should be able to get some level 2 adventurers, yes. I think this one will level up to level 3 automatically. Get a female out this time just to balance out the party a little bit. I need a frontline fighter. Thinking a dwarf or a meow up person. Technically, I don't think it really matters because just shift the stats around. Sorry about that. I'm still curious why the dwarves have a net gain over other characters. It may be like way down in culture or something, like where it comes to matter. They don't get a special bonus for... Was it culture that gives like the extra boost? Select a human for a second. Yeah, it is, I think. Way down here in culture. Okay, so That makes me think that maybe the dwarves don't get a culture boost, so let me check. Otherwise I just don't understand. No, they do. So they do just have a straight up net gain on a stat. Alright, so we want this to either be a fighter, a barbarian, paladin. Deal with melee weapons that automatically make reduced damage attacks against all other enemies within a area of attack. The endurance recovery might make the fighter the most useful, really. Although I like the idea of a paladin. Just a little bit less specific to being a tank. I'll do fighter with knockdown because I think it's really good. Yeah. Lots and lots of constitution. Resolve. Maybe. I'm not sure I believe you. Again, it's really hard with this game with the attributes because, like, everything's important, like I've said before. Kind of just looking at what gear might look the most interesting on. Wanted to have a shield though, so probably be like a deer or the Deadfire Archipelago. This one was +1 perception, so I'd have to go back and mess things around a little bit. Archipelago. I think that looks more cool with the saber. Probably like a mercenary or a raider. A red color scheme is probably fine. Oh, I think my color scheme is red, isn't it? Could probably change mine to green. Be fine. I like that. Okay. Not very many dwarf female pictures, huh? This one's kind of the closest.
Oh?
I shall lead us.
Quickly and quietly. Eh?
Leading the way.
Let's go!
They won't see me coming.
Hmm?
stoic. What do I want to call her? A dwarf female name. I don't even know, because not many dwarves are female. Yeah, that'd make it close to my name if I did like about to do there. Ursa, I guess. I don't know. If I had my D&D like player's manual, I might be able to look up what some dwarf female names are. You mostly need athletics. Give you a point of stealth just so you can. Consumable duration and it's a point of mechanics for some reason. Bonus knockdown allows you to do another knockdown. That's pretty cool. Justifiers the recovery rate of the endurance. You probably need like a weapon focus though. That's always really good for fighters. But maybe weapon and shields more specifically would be really good. Yeah, I think that's what we want, because this is more of a tank character than DPS or anything. You're gonna get sword and shield style. Or weapon and shield. And then let's see, you have a saber, which just does 12 through 18 damage base. I saved some weapons for you. I think you already have scale mail, so I'll just put that back in here. I don't think we want to give her those helmets. It's the same shield as you have. So what does the base sword do? Oops. There's a way to compare them, but there it goes. Okay. Saber's better, as far as I can tell. Oh, it only does slash though, and the sword can also do pierce, and it'll do whatever does more damage. Rapier. It's 8 through 12 with extra chance to hit. Probably just need the default sword more than the saber. That one matches a little bit better because it uses the color. You have a cape, I have a cape, so yeah. Have a cape. Then I can probably just sell a lot of this other
Hail, traveler.
gear here. I want this, but I don't want the rest of this. So 4 camping supplies, so we're good there. Gonna put the hood, or hat I should say, in here. I haven't decided if I'm wearing this permanently or not. Alright, this is good. Now let's move on out. Oh, I have to... There we go. Should be pretty good. Alright, so... There's a cloud of white with accumulating smoke and grease. I'm sure I didn't miss anything up here. Building back there, should probably check out. Offer's house. Account Inn. Here, Temple of Thuos. I wonder if there's anything behind this house before I go in. Again, not gonna read these. It's just a little bit too much. And nothing else back there. Dear Woodian woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Welcome.
Oh, well, finally, I was starting to think. The woman makes startled noise when she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was expecting someone else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help you? Just arrived at the Gilded Vale. I thought I'd get to know the locals. If one of the caravan, she looks at you hopefully. Master Odima's by chance? Yes. I'm afraid the rest of the caravan was killed. Why do you ask? You knew Odima? Yeah, Odima. Well, no more than most here, I say. He doesn't usually come this way, but he says a reliable fellow. Pauses, brows furrowing. Wait, why do you say new? Sorry, but the caravan was attacked. I was the only one to survive. Because he's dead, him and the rest of the caravan. Alpha covers her mouth with the hand, eyes wide in horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled, voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Calissa was always so certain she could take any danger. Oh, my poor sister, I'm sorry, stranger, I just can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written her, she might still be alive somewhere. Her face crumples. A solitary tear slides down her cheek. Why did you send for Calissa? Calissa mentioned that she thought you needed help. Perhaps I can provide some assistance. But you're sniveling. How are you going to raise a child if you're the sweet girl? Anything I can do? Let's do the benevolent one. She looks at you with some surprise before dabbing her nose with a sleeve. It's kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I can impose on you like this. It's not a small favor. She wipes her eyes. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Calissa as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Leodric, he's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of God's disfavor. My Hawthorne gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home too. I hope Calissa could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child being hellborn, but she moved south to Anslog's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey is too far for me, and I can't make it as I am, but I don't have anyone else now, with Calissa gone. More tears run down her face. Please, can you help me? I'll find Ranga for you. If we were the kind wayfarers, we'd have extra option. Little pack knights would get an extra option. That's a long ways to go. It's in it for me. I'll think about it if I ever head that way. I'm not one for charity. Handle this yourself. I'll find her for you. You will. Oh, gods bless you. Here is a coin to pay her with. You don't need to trouble yourself with that. I think I think it's a drink she fashions out of, well, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be too much of a burn to carry back. Gilded Vale, slightly positive. Hanslog's Compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from crying myself. She clasped her hands together. Thank you again, truly. You're saving us both. She has a hand on her stomach, smiling through the tears. There's a worn, dog-eared book titled Travels Upon the Caldegus Sea. There's an etched illustration of a vast finned leviathan. And we can't go to those without stealing. And out. Squat, stinted body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head rolls forwards rigidly from one side to the other while a breeze shifts. Perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it. You feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Reach out for the woman. Take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on the objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading outward towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there's a sudden jolt in your mind, a ringing electric surge of images, words, and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. When you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in milky fog. Her body is still swaying in the wind, and you no longer feel from a tree that stands. That doesn't sound right. Stands planted in a misty void. Woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear, or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Am I imagining this? How are you able to speak with me? I need to understand something that's happened to me. I think I survived a bee walk. Do you know why that would be? Are you able to speak with me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
To watch her.
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. but no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
What do you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
Smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a long, tough whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
I think I survived a Beowick. Do you know where that would be? Or do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
Did souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked crackle, escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. In your bleak expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
Other questions?
Of course, dear.
Seems pretty clear to me we're not imagining it, so farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Sarah closes her eyes and her head slumps forward. Overlooked, your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Alof looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that is interesting. Gives you a side grin, and I expect this has something to do with the hidden figures in the ruins, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for both of us to share these things. You know anything about Watchers? Only that they're rare, and they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions, as you just demonstrated. Continue on.
17 and a half.
17 and a half, what are you talking about? Smell of pipe smoke. Smell of pipe smoke all at once, earthly and sweet. It's when it winds your way into your nostrils, your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair, and then you get some mossy rock wall. His pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks at you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
Sorry, what are you talking about?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta. The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
What do you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
Makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman. Looks at you a moment, his brow arches, his smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Possible I don't drill half as much. Know what a watcher is?
Friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
Think you're going to be hanged? That's supposed to mean untaken. Be so sure.
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
Or Saints to war, only one in my lifetime. Fellow decides he's the living incarnation of Eothas, overthrows, reads Ceres, marches on Deerwood, so we give him the Deerwoodian hello. It's a Deerwoodian hello. Smiles at this, but the smile of one recounting a joke for effect rather than enjoyment. Is Eothas. Got a rebirth and redemption, formally anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. Have other questions. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved? Friedrich sent men down here the other day, said they had it on good authority. Someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Radric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swinthen, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. Besides, shaking his head, his eyes fixed on a tree. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Radric, then for protecting me. What does your town have against you?
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Radric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Eloth glances at you and lowers his voice. You see why I was eager to leave. It's Kolsk. When he got tired of all the hangings, he's on the run now. Will probably be till they catch him. You're next to be hanged. What are you still doing here? He gives a half smile, drinking mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. I just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out here that I don't think Waden's legacy started with Waden. Travel together. Where are you headed? Some place called Cade Nua. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
I seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But, truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
That's a fine reason if I ever heard one.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
Tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look. What's he going? So, I actually didn't know we'd get this guy. But we'll go over it in the next video because we're out of time for this one. Way over time. So I hope y'all enjoyed and have a good day.